inside my head becoming blurred by so much said. I'm in too deep waters I tread, can't catch my breath. A shadow chasing me, a game of hide and seek. Found they'll have a peek. All right, welcome everyone to another edition of Deconversion Stories. Today we have this awesome guy right here, Mr. Forrest Valkai, who is also known as the Renegade Science Teacher.
Down, studio audience, down.
And of course, my partner in crime, Mr. Mikey Famine, is also here with us. And I'm just going to read a little bit off of Valkai Labs, which is Forrest's personal website, which I do have, by the way, linked in the description box below. I definitely recommend you check it out. It's a great website.
Click it.
So here's what it says about Mr. Valkai. Forrest is a biologist, science communicator known for his infectious enthusiasm, which I can account for, and boundless love for life. Renowned for his engaging presence on YouTube and TikTok, his dynamic presentation at conferences and conventions, and hosting shows like Skep Talk and the Atheist Experience. Forrest brings together captivating science lessons through thought-provoking discussion on skepticism and heartfelt advocacy for social progress. Over the course of his online career, Forrest has championed science and reason, raised hundreds of thousands of dollars in charity, bravo to you, sir, and taught audiences of all ages to love science, and this is my favorite part, and each other. Just thought I just wanted to read that because that last little bit at the end is the part that I really love a lot. So
thanks, man.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Get the crowd back in here. All right, bring it up, guys. Bring it up. Bring it up.
And you're doing the old whoop whoop whoop.
Yeah, Arsenio Hall. That's how we have people come.
They're so disciplined. The way they all stop just so quickly. It's beautiful.
I'm up there like a drum major. I'm like a drum major. Just then everybody knows. Yeah. Just cut it.
The applause signs. Applause. Yeah. Anyway, what we do here on the show, Forrest, is we speak to people about their journeys away from their previous belief systems, whether they be religious or otherwise. So as we spoke at the last BajaCon, you said, yeah, you've got some stuff you could probably spill. So why don't you take us on that journey? And,
First question.
Yeah.
What flavor religion were you?
Pagan.
Oh.
Pagan. Yeah.
Okay. Original flavor.
And now I'm here to tell you all about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Aren't you glad you have me? Yeah.
It was a trick.
What the hell happened?
It's all been a grift this whole time. Just to trick you into religion.
He made us look, and it was there.
Well, I can say this: if you fell for it, then I'm probably going to fall for it. So.
We're doomed.
Yeah. What do you want to know? Like, I don't know how much you would like me to spill. I mean,
well, I mean, you say, okay, well, I once was a pagan, as myself, I was as well. I actually got into Wiccanism, a little bit of Druidism, stuff like that. I had friends that had pyramids of power, sex rituals, all kinds of crazy ass shit, right? But
all the fun stuff, yeah.
So, was there anything like that involved in your paganism journey?
Yeah, I was raised. So I was born at a very young age into a family that was very diverse in their religious beliefs. Pagan is just the way that it's the word that we use, and the way that I use the word that I use to kind of just summarize everything. Yeah. Because like some people say Wiccan, and some people say you talk about Druidism and all these things, and yeah, it was a clusterfuck of different random bits of different random religious things, and of course with East European old magic mixed in with Native American spirituality as understood by a family of white immigrants. It was just every bit of just gross cultural appropriation that you could possibly imagine, all squished into one thing, where we thought that we had control over the spirits and lives of different people by what herbs we burned and spells we cast and things like that. And so I was raised believing in ghosts and spirits and witches and wizards and little fae folk and creatures that lived amongst us, but not really, but yes, really, but not really, but don't worry about it. And demons and angels and every bit of the whole spiritual warfare thing, plus like some sprinklings of Christianity in there, but not in a way that you could recognize. And it was a mess. And so I remember, like, when I was a kid, going to like the psychic fairs that would come through town, and believing that stuff. And I would, little 8-year-old.
Did they have to advertise that, or?
Yeah, it was. I don't know, like how, but like I would go put my hand on this thing that would put a computer image of my aura on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
Your aura's purple, Forrest. That means you're good at healing magic. And I was like, wow, and and I believed it, and like. So up like until
like a Naruto village,
it was magical, literally and figuratively.
Damn.
And so I remember when I was a kid, like I was scared in my room once as a very young child. I was scared of nothing because I was a child who was afraid of darkness and corners and shadows and whatever. And my mom taught me that was the spirit of a native child that was lost in my room that I had to lead to the light by burning sage and frankincense and chanting some shit. And like, that was the kind of shit that I grew up with. And looking back at it now, it sucks. And of course, up until my mid-teens, I was practicing
advantage.
Right, yeah. Up until my mid-teens, I was practicing Reiki and spirit healing and doing this thing where you feel the energy between your hands and then you channel it into a person. And
I've done that.
We believed in Chi because my grandma was some sort of a half-assed Buddhist, and so Chi became a thing for a while. We had all over my house, we had statues of different gods from different cultures. I was raised more than I was taught about the Bible. I was taught the Bible, but more than that, I was taught like Greek mythology, Norse mythology, Egyptian mythology. Above my mom's bed, she had statues of like the Egyptian pantheon, which I was taught actually are watching over us in our house. And like,
really?
It was day to day. Like I said, just pick your favorite cultural appropriation and cram it into your own religion is what the whole thing was. Literally day to day, we would be praying either to Bast or to Odin or to Zeus.
Okay, hold on. You've given us a lot of very dense, energy-rich material here. I gotta start pulling this apart.
Please.
So this is. So you were like at like the Costco. Like your house was like the Costco over, like you had crates of each.
Yeah.
Holy.
The general idea was that like all of these different pantheons, all of these religions are all true. They're just none of them are all powerful. They are, beings in their own way, they're like regional deities that have control over these areas. Very D&D,
I was gonna say, I'm like, so she's like, you're a healer class, so
yes, and so I specialized in healing and divination magic. I still have my Book of Shadows on one of my bookshelves in my living room, just as a keepsake, where I was learning how to read palms and how to scry in a mirror and how to like heal people with different herbs and rituals and like all these different things, because like that was what was presented to me, is like these are all these different kinds of magics that are all around the world, and depending on what culture we're misappropriating today, maybe it's spelled with a K, maybe it's spelled with a C, who knows, the
word magic.
Yeah.
I used to do the K one myself.
Yep. And I still can write in Nordic rune, that alphabet. I memorized it when I was a kid, and like that's how I would take notes in school, and like it was a whole thing. And all of it boiled down to just kind of this whatever feels right in the moment and vibes-based religion that I grew out of as soon as I started questioning, or as soon as I started teaching. How should I say? As soon as I started treating those beliefs with the same kind of logic and morality that I used to do anything else ever, it fell apart. That's how it was.
So at that point, did you guys have like any restrictions growing up? I mean, like, if everything is welcome, was there any like, oh, nope, we don't listen to music with cursing in it? Or is it like, dude, it's whatever. Bass is cool with that shit.
Quite the opposite. I had an extremely liberal childhood. I was allowed to do and say just about whatever. And that was kind of, all allowed. There were taboo things like, you need to be kind to animals and plants because they have spirits too, and so on and so on. And those are some things that I actually like about it. I've talked about this before. I think that growing up pagan like this made me a better biologist because it got me into the kind of thinking that I find that a lot of people in really advanced biology start to touch on, this almost pseudo-animistic kind of ideology of like how we interact with nature.
Sure.
But it wasn't like, there wasn't really any kind of religious restriction on anything. It was just like we were taught the Greek stories about like Zeus would, disguise himself as different things and then go around the world. And if people were kind to him, he would bless them. And so we were literally taught as children that like, hey, that you met Zeus. A particularly friendly. Yeah, exactly. If you met a particularly friendly frog today, it's a good thing you were kind to it. That might have been a god that was just checking on you and seeing what you would do. And now you're going to have good luck this week. And we really believed that shit was true. Was serious.
So is that why you got a picture of yourself like almost kissing a frog?
No, that was a frog that I met. He was that was an American bullfrog named Freddie Mercury. And it was just a genuinely cool frog. And so that's just a picture. Yeah. But no, I would have back then, and I would now. I love frogs. Frogs are great.
Frogs are awesome. Especially those Pac-Man frogs. Those things are awesome.
Yeah. And also my grandparents, when they came here, they were obsessed with Native American culture, and so that became a big thing. And also, I grew up in Oklahoma, which has a huge population of Native Americans because this is where we shoved them towards the latter stages of the genocide. And so, growing up around a lot of Native culture and Native spirituality as well. Yes. That also played a big part into that kind of animistic side of things, which some of it was very bastardized, some of it was not. And since then, now in my adult life as an atheist, I've been able to interact a lot more with those different cultures and spiritualities and sensibilities. I volunteered for a couple of years with an organization called Native Explorers, which is out of Oklahoma State University, which is where I'm currently at, where they have the Office of the Office of American Indians in Medicine and Science, AIMS. And they do a thing called Native Explorers, where they take Native American folks in their usually early undergrads, and they take them out into camping for like a week or so. And it's led by a bunch of paleontologists. And so we dig up camel and horse fossils and also learn about Native American culture and history while we're out there. And it's fucking awesome. And the head of that is a guy by the name of Dr. Kent Smith, who was my advisor for one of my master's degrees. He's fucking amazing. Just one of the nicest dudes you'll ever meet in your life. And so I've learned so much about that culture from him as well, which has helped me, like I said, become a better biologist and also feel less stupid about some of the stuff that I grew up with, because it turns out some of it was okay.
Right.
Some of it could be applied in specific ways.
Yeah.
Coolest thing you've ever dug up, looking for horse and camel fossil. What else did you guys? I know you guys found something that was cool that wasn't supposed to be there. Me
personally, or like on these trips with the people in them?
Sure, whichever's cooler. I want to hear the cool. What cool stuff do y'all find?
The coolest one was a proboscidean tooth. So the proboscideans like elephants and things. And I'm pretty sure it was a gomphotherium that we found, and that was the first fossil of those found like anywhere close to that region. And what was really great about it, they bring these students out there that are interested in science and medicine. One of the people we brought with us was an English major who was Native and just wanted to get in touch with her heritage, had no interest in paleontology at all, and was literally, we were all up there hunting for fossils, and she's just walking along, sees this weird pointy thing sticking out of the ground. I was like, what's this? We're like, that's an elephant tooth. And holy fuck, your name's going to be on a scientific paper now. Because they have to publish that. And so that is now a huge discovery that's being published. And this girl has her scientific career started and doesn't want one.
And now we're going to have to flip all the migratory maps on their head. Now that we found this tooth, thank you for finding
it. Was incredible. And we all like, we were out there just to kind of like go perusing in the field. Is what we call prospecting. You find this a big hill that you can see like water channels, like erosion channels on, and you just walk around the hill and look for bits of bone. And if you see a bit of bone, you just walk up the water channel there, and you'll find pretty soon like a bit of a leg sticking out, and you can dig that up. And we were just kind of doing that as like a thing to just kind of see around this area. We didn't bring any like major equipment, but now they found that. And so we're all just out there now for like a few hours. All of us got sunburn because we didn't have anything prepared. We're just out there standing in the sun. We're like, we cannot leave. We cannot there's no way we can mark this spot. We're just going to have to be here until this is done.
Stuck. Right.
That was wild.
Oh boy. Did anything else?
I brought granola.
I've got a bag of like random scraps of camel from a couple million years ago just around in this closet over here. Because like they're just pieces of fossil that don't mean anything. They're like the middles of like bone shafts that do nothing. They tell us nothing except the fact that a mammal was here. And so like it's just
it happened to be a camel.
X amount of million-year-old camel and or horse in a Ziploc bag sitting in that closet over there.
I will have you know the new economy will run on fossilized camel bones, and you will be king with a pouch full of rubies.
In this new world where money is useless, random ass fossils are units of power.
Ha ha! I knew this would come.
I did not see this conversation going that route.
That's stupid. I did this bit a while ago. There was this viral TikTok for no reason of this random woman claiming that Airheads were going to go out of production for like several years because of supply. It was bullshit. She was just making things up. But I stitched that and I bought candy, like, right? Candy Airheads. Yeah. I forget you're not a free American. And we had these Canadian. Just boxes and boxes and boxes of Airhead. I bought like this just massive, just like shipping units of like
cases.
Cases, yes. And Amber, my wife, made me this crown of Airheads, and I put on like this robe and everything. It's on my channel still. I forgot what the name of the video is. I can try to find it, but like it's That's me funny. With these boxes of Airheads. I'm like, in this new world where money is useless, Airheads are units of power, and I control all the Airheads, so I control all the things. Just me being as stupid as possible because that's my career.
Your suit jacket is just Airhead wrappers, just very elegant.
Yes.
It's like Burberry, but it's just Airheads. It's very classy.
Maybe it's in my shorts. Maybe I'm gonna find this before the end of this show. I swear to whatever God people watching this believe in, and we're gonna fucking there it is. Yes. Can I put this in the chat? Do I have chatting privileges?
You should.
If you do it through like the regular YouTube,
Wazam.
Probably. There you go.
There you go.
There's that. And it doesn't work as a link because I'm not a mod, but that's okay.
Oh.
We have a private chat on the Talk Studio thing. I can throw it in there for you.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. That's not right. I'll find it eventually. There it is.
Yeah. It's a little weird.
Sending messages is only available for hosts. So no, you don't have a private chat, but it's
on
fine.
The top, hit the private thing. There's the stream and then there's the private.
I'll find it. I'll find it eventually. Right. This is terrible for your audience. So we'll just move on. I'll show you this later.
Okay, I got a question though.
I have an answer.
When you started getting into like your schooling because you've got, umpteen bazillion PhDs and all that, whatever in biology.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Center. Well, you know what I mean. Of course, I know I've been told a million times not to exaggerate, but anyway,
I found it.
Did any of what you had previous belief wise, did any of it play into that immediately, or did that sort of come around a little bit later?
Yeah, no, like I said, I think that growing up pagan made me a better biologist because like the cool thing about my childhood and the cool thing about being that way is like when you grow up walking through the woods and believing that like this, every tree and rock and shrub and squirrel and turtle and frog and mushroom and bacteria, every bit of it is like a spirit, a thing that has like inherent serious value, and like and they're all communicating and they're all talking and they're all like watching you and judging you, and like, and they get out there. You have this really personal relationship with everything. That's an amazing setup for ecology. I'll be honest with you. It's great. And so like growing up that way, now when I look back, it helps a lot because I've learned at a young age to take my time and to just really observe what's around me and to try my best to speak to nature in nature's language. And that helps a lot in biology. Like I said, a lot of people, when they get into upper levels of biology, that kind of pseudo-animism is something that is like a shocking concept. I remember in grad school when I was doing anthropology, that was a big thing that they were like trying to get people to learn, is like, get rid of these dualisms in your head and try not to separate culture and nature, and realize that we are animals in this world, and that every bit of nature has its own way of being, and and I was like, oh yeah, totally got that. And some of the other people, especially people with like Christian backgrounds, couldn't wrap their heads around that for a while. And I was like, yeah, no, been there for 30 years, no problem.
Like, so because we are a part of nature, our culture is involved with nature and intertwined with
precisely.
Nature.
Yeah, and you know, with us being animals, the culture that we exhibit, what we do as cultural beings, is natural. And that's one of the things, like when we talk about, you know, people talk about like, this isn't biology, this is sociology, this is psychology, whatever like that. And I'm like, you'll never guess what does sociology and stuff. It's biological things that have the, you know what I mean? These biological organisms, they're the things that do the society that you're saying isn't biology. That's kind of weird, right?
Next thing you're going to say, I'm natural.
Yeah, and even technology. Like people talk about technology all the time as if it's this separate thing from nature, and I understand why. But it's like you got these fucking monkeys that are making the technology the same way that a chimpanzee cracks a nut with a rock, or fishes termites with a stick. Or more appropriately, like Homo habilis knocked two rocks together and made a chopper to open up bones. It's the exact same thing as making a microprocessor on a supercomputer today.
Bad news on that front. There's sea wolves now. Like a subspecies.
Actually,
they're dragging up. They were trying to get these invasive mussels out, so they got the mussel traps. The things are pulling it up. They're like, it's the first tool usage of canine, or of a canid. And I'm like, oh, come on. Bad dogs. That's what you see them just backing up, just yanking the bait towards the shore.
Yeah, I've seen those.
I'm like, come on, man. That's not a tool. That's a bad dog. Bad dog. Stop it. Do not pull up the traps.
They're wonderful dogs, and they're thinking.
If you ever here, I could take you to see them. They're close.
Oh, I got YouTube, premium, so I don't probably have to be by the wolf.
Sea wolves is a cool thing, because in Spanish, the word for sea lions is lobos, which means wolves. There is a slang term. And so like, when we were in Ecuador, they were talking about the wolves over here in the water, and they're these fucking doofy honking things that just want to come up and like sniff at you and squirrel at you. Sea lions are awesome. I love them.
Yeah, we got them here too.
I would call them that if I was a fish or anything that had to live in the water, because they move like the water is a suggestion. Like they're just like little cherubs. Just anywhere they feel like going is where they are now. And it is effortless. So
they come around through the Fraser River where I live. Right where I live, the river splits, and sometime a year. We also get otters here. They come up the river too. Yeah. They're so cute, man. But don't go near their young. You will be sorry.
Yeah.
They're really cute. They could be fucking vicious when they want to be.
All I got is your damn geese here, Neil. Thanks.
Yeah.
No exotic life here. Just Canada geese that are pissed.
The term is cobra chickens or weapons grade pigeon.
Yes. You can defeat a goose with a bucket if you have a bucket. If you ever need to, found a goose, just put them in a bucket. You just take a bucket, and they're gonna honk at you and hiss at you, and you just put them in a bucket, and then they'll just be confounded and they'll walk away from you. It's you can also turn them upside down. If you put them on their back, they just kick and squonk, and they don't know what to do with themselves. It's ridiculous.
You think I can afford that many buckets? There's about 600 in this retention pot. We're gonna have to think smaller.
One giant bucket, Mikey. Just
easy.
One giant bucket. There you go.
That's why we're friends. Just bucket the whole lake. Just see you in the spring.
So earlier in the conversation, first you were talking about how there were still Christian overtones to. How did your family or folks or whatever? How do they square that with all the pagan stuff? Like, how did they work that in? I'm kind of interested.
I don't think they really like grappled with it very much, because like it was weird. My dad, so my mom is the one who taught me a great deal of this paganism. That's where I got a lot of that from.
Okay.
My grandma, like I said, was a half-assed Buddhist, but was raised Lutheran, but still believed in like East European old magic, like where we were from. This very
Balkan.
boiling in a pot and kind of
boil, toil and trouble, all that shit.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And then my dad was Catholic because he came from Austria, so of course he was. And I have no idea how any of that worked. But what I do know for sure is that, like, because the general vibe was that these are all like regional gods. I think like the God of the Bible was like, it was a guy. You know, it wasn't like the guy, but it was a guy, and we assumed that the Bible was. I was taught that the Bible and the Quran and all these things were just really more than anything tools for control, which I now agree with way more than
100%. Yep.
Yeah, it's because this just that's one of my anthropology professors in grad school once called religion a domestication tool for humans, and I have never called it anything else since then. That was such a good way of saying it.
Accurate.
Anyway, so like with the Christian overtones in there, it was things like I was taught how to do exorcisms by reading like the Key of Solomon, and so it's this shit in like Hebrew, and like, but also like how to draw pentagrams properly, and how you need to confess of your sins so that a demon has nothing to use against you. And like the mixed in with also make sure you're burning frankincense and sage and myrrh and oil and shit in order to get holy smoke to purge the room. And it's like and so you've got like this weird blending where it's like, the Hebrew. One of the things I actually on I think it was on Skep Talk. It was on one of the shows on the line recently. I was talking about this, and I talked about like I was taught this like kind of like chanty phrase while drawing a pentagram. And it was like Ata Malkuth something Layla Lalaman. And somebody pointed out in the chat, hey, that's really bad Hebrew. And it means like the Lord's Prayer. It's like you. Yeah. And it's like thine is the power and the glory, amen, is what I'm saying. And it's like and it's just a twisted form of that was then turned into drawing a 5-pointed star so that I could burn white fucking sage from like Native American culture so that I could then drive out demons. And it's what the fuck is any of that? And so it was just like,
what do they call those? What they bind up I can't remember the name of them.
Yeah, I don't remember either, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, and that little bundle, and like it was all those. It was just.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I apologize.
No, you're good. I was just saying, shout out to it's Eric Wander for the 2-month membership, dude. I have a label for your religious upbringing. It's Pascal's religion.
Yes.
Can't get in trouble with any of the gods because I literally am praising all of them. I'm celebrating all of them.
Do you remember that scene from The Mummy where Imhotep is walking towards Benny and he's pulling out like 50 different religious symbols and saying all these chants in different languages? That was how I was raised. Was just if one's good, then 30 of them are great, and put them all together. Yes, and if you put them all together at the same time and believe all the beautiful parts of all of them and none of the evil parts of any of them, then everything's great. And it was the overall like smudge sticks. Yes, yeah.
Smudging. That's it. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Hellbound Hillbilly.
Hellbound.
The overall vibe was that there's this quote from Gandhi that religions are all beautiful flowers in the same garden, and that was the message of like my childhood religious upbringing was just like everything is right, kind of, and you just kind of have to go with what feels right in your heart. And what feels right in your heart is somewhere in between crystals and like East European meditation and or East Asian meditation and East European like witch magic. And fine, whatever works.
Accuracy by volume.
I still love crystals, regardless of whether I used to believe that they actually stored energy and whatnot.
They're real neat.
They are. They're really cool.
We probably we probably got a little of that ASD going, both of us. So we probably like rocks. You know, rocks are good.
I love crystals. And when I love crystals now because I love their chemistry. But back in the day, I was, you taught to go to a table full of all these different crystals, and you hold your hand over them to feel which one's calling to you the most. And then that's used to heal a person. And I was like, all right, and now I can think about that a little bit more clearly.
I mean, one of my favorites has got to be amethyst and lapis lazuli. I think is probably my two big favorites. The beautiful stones. Oh,
I'm very fortunate. My birthstone is ruby, and it's also one of my favorite gemstones. It's so
nice,
so cool.
Nice,
yeah,
nice. Mine's opal. My birthstone.
Peridot.
Peridot.
I'm pretty sure RFK's birthstone is crystal meth. I'm not sure.
Crystal blue methyl.
RFK Jr. I'm pretty sure he crystal meth.
Yo, that boy turned around and that plane looked like he had 6 Smurfs in his mouth. I was like, oh, what's wrong with it? I think it's broken.
Wild. I don't understand. Like,
what's your take on all this?
Get
it's fucked
up.
Yeah.
Surprise to nobody. I'm not a fan. But like, what I don't understand, and I know this is everybody says this about everything that happens, but like, even the people who were like frustrated with the system and they're bought into a bunch of anti-vax bullshit and they're scared of medicine that they don't understand and they've been burned by the current biomedical complex and they're not happy and all these things, and so they buy into RFK Jr. and his bullshit. Like, even those people, he then put out a fucking report that was written by AI and cited sources that don't exist. How was that not? I know the dog agrees. How was that not like the last straw? You know what I'm saying? Like, how, even if you're like, hey, I don't believe in like the whole, like, I don't think modern medicine is a thing. And then that happens. How are you then not like, okay, clearly I still need to look somewhere else? Even if that doesn't take you now to like, okay, doctors know what they're talking about. Can you at least say this guy doesn't know what he's talking about in that situation? Really? You can't do that? That's crazy to me.
He literally said, don't take medical advice from me. And everyone was kind of like, but the job you want. Oh, this is not good.
Don't take medical advice from me is such a thing. That is, you are the director of health and human services, and you are telling me don't direct, and you are giving me the fucking like you can't sue me phrase. Really? Is it because of those kids in Samoa? Is it because of those? It's almost like he's a lawyer. It's almost like he's a lawyer and not a fucking doctor.
He'll sue the cancer right out of you because the cancer's not allowed to be there.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, can't divide. I think he can't divide. I'm just going to throw that out there in the universe.
I don't think he knows how to read a lot of things. Like I know he became a lawyer, so he had to know how to read like law stuff. But like, I don't think he knows how to read a scientific paper. I don't think he knows how to read like most science material. I think
he can't read an abstract for sure. For sure.
You can read like the first,
small tangent. Do you know him and Lawrence O'Donnell went to college together?
I don't know who that is.
He's the old suited guy on MSNBC. He's like always serious.
Okay.
Him and RFK went to college at like literally had classes together. And I'm like, oh, and he's just like Lawrence O'Donnell's like this regular ass old white man. And then you got RFK, and he's like this tanned, steroid taking blue mouth freak. He looks like Harrison Ford in that last Captain America. We got 10 gifted subs from Regios. Thank you so much, Regios. Have an air horn, dude.
Sorry, guys. I have kind of distracted. I haven't been really watching the chat much. So I apologize.
You rock, Regios.
Wild time.
He's like, I just waiting for him to spontaneously combust. Chemicals
that's
from the blow up.
Because I used to believe that spontaneous combustion was a thing. Has there ever actually been a documented case of it? I don't
Of a
think
person.
So. Yeah,
I don't think so. Yeah, no, not like South
Pop
Park.
rocks,
You know,
Pop Rocks and Diet Coke. Can't do it.
There are things that can spontaneously combust, but not whole people yet.
Yes,
not
I'm
with
aware of those things.
Not with our current technology. But you know what? I believe in a future where we can achieve great things, including spontaneous combustion.
If we put
the right nanobots in, and you're good to go.
Yeah, fun science. Get us there.
Yeah.
Or if you went,
sure.
Well, no, those guys did do the spontaneous combustion. They just had to use the submarine.
That was implosion.
Yeah. I think we're splitting hairs. You know, I mean, they did.
They are almost exact opposites. But yeah, sure. Yeah.
I was like, no one's gone into space and popped, really, but those did the opposite.
Not with that attitude. We can get there.
Got to lean into it. Elbow grease.
So I want to go back a bit to you getting into school and stuff like that. Now, what was some of the things that completely surprised you when you were learning in your biology courses and stuff like that? Like, what were some of the things kind of threw kind of a right jab at you? Like, holy fuck, I had no idea about this kind of thing.
Not everyone with a PhD is smart. That's the big one. And
that's the show, guys.
I for real. No, there have been so many times in my college career where I have just been glaring at the professor like, if this son of a bitch can do this, then I can do this. If that stupid bastard can get a PhD and can teach at a university level, then I can too. I had a genetics professor in my undergrad who didn't know what a Hox gene was and didn't know, like, and I literally the third time that we were in lecture and he would say something and someone would put up like, hey, the book says something different. And he would just go, okay, well, whatever the book says. The third time that happened, I left class and never came back and studied on my own, and my grade went up because he was pulling his test from a test bank. We know that because every answer to the first exam was C, every one of them, because he forgot to scramble them. And as soon as I stopped attending class, my grade improved massively. And to this day, I'm still learning stuff about genetics that, like, I go back and I still have my undergrad genetics textbook, and I pull out something and I'm like, I didn't get that part either because this guy didn't do. I literally this semester, I just did a molecular genetics course in grad school. So a graduate level molecular genetics course, very detailed, and it was a lot of fun. I learned a ton of great stuff. And there were still a couple of times where they would be like, here's this basic concept. And I'd be like, I got to go back and relearn that because what you just said isn't what I heard, back then. And so like, I'm pretty damn good at genetics, especially epigenetics, but like there's still some spots where I'll go back and I'll relearn something and it clicks in a new way. And that's not super unique. It just frustrates me the most with genetics.
Yeah, I guess because when you think you've got something figured out and then a curveball kind of gets thrown at you, it's a little bit, oh, okay. Now,
but I mean, as far as like, yeah, and that happens all the time. Like that's the best part about learning biology is like there's
still learning. It's great.
Yeah, there's always something new. And so like, I specialized in evolution for a long time. I just did another graduate level evolution course in this last semester and I learned new shit. Like there's always new shit to learn, right? So awesome. It's great. Actually, it frustrates me the most when I have situations like that. I had the same thing. I had a plant biology teacher who was more interested in stroking his own ego than teaching for a while. And so every now and then when I go back and learn something about plants, I'm like, God damn you.
A bad teacher can do so much.
Well, it was the first time that I'd ever had a situation where I bombed a test and like to the point where I like single digit points, like it just bombed it. And I felt so bad. And then the teacher gets up there and he's like, okay, so 3 people in this class got a passing grade. And I'm like, okay, there cannot be 25 commman denominators, dude. There's no way. Like it's just you being silly. Yes. And so like that was one of those things where it was like, I'm going to make this class as hard as possible so that I feel smarter than you. And this same professor, once we spent, I think it was almost an entire class, so almost an hour with him lecturing us not on plant biology, but on how to be adult scientists.
Here we go.
Scientists. And that means that what triggered the rant was that he noticed how many of us were using spiral notebooks and mechanical pencils. And we, as adult scientists, should get nice notebooks and learn to write with a fountain pen, because that's what adults do. And like that, and we graduate yourself, he would say, to an adult writing utensil and an adult notebook.
I fucking fountain pen? Are you serious?
Yeah, literal actual
calligraphy pen? Or
actual real fountain pen. And it's like at least use a pen, but it should be an adult pen like this one. It's this fancy freaking. And it's like, come on, dude. Like I just want to learn how photosynthesis works. Please.
Oh, dude. Next time, show up with a feather. With one of those feather things. A little
inkwell.
Yeah.
But that has happened quite a few times where I would have a professor, and I'm not naming any names here, but like I've had plenty of professors where it was just clearly about them and their ego rather than science, or that they were genuinely bad scientists. They weren't as educated as I thought. They didn't know what they were talking about. They clearly just didn't care about the material, and them scraping by was being rubbed off on their students, and it sucked. And so that was one of the bigger lessons for me, was like disillusioning myself from the idea of what I thought science was this big magical thing that you fought and clawed and scratched and fought, and then you earn the title of scientist, and then you get to be right all the time. And it's like, no, they're just dudes. They're just dudes doing dude shit.
Hey,
and
humans are fallible regardless, right? So
I just love how we thought the people who were eating ramen noodles and wearing dirty clothes were also going to be like, oh shit, let me stop by the stationery shop. I need to get some more ink for my inkwell. Like, what?
Yeah. You know what's crazy? That wasn't even the only professor that acted that way. So like, it's just bizarre. It's just bizarre, dude.
Academia is a strange place.
They want to explore the depths of their own ass, and that's all they do for their career. It sucks.
And there was more cavitations and explosions.
Well, yeah. At least you came out of it on the better side for us, so you can at least say that. Right? I've now seen 2 of your talks, because you were at BogCon for the 2 years that I happened to be.
My condolences.
No, you do such a good job with your presentations.
Well,
like I feel like I'm going to a movie like half the time. I just sit there, and the way you talk and stuff, and the way you talk about the subjects, and you make it easy for like average Joe to understand, kind of thing.
Question: have you done theater before?
I am no stranger to the stage, but my dad was an entertainer, and so I grew up doing a lot of stuff. I grew up around people and on stage things. I've never like professionally done any acting or anything like that. I took drama in high school once, but that's the most of it, you know. So but I am very.
You have good diction and you project well.
Thank you. For talking about my diction.
Why did I know I was going to go there?
We always get there eventually. What the people really want to know.
Yeah, but
it's just his opinion.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, I grew up with that, and now to this day, I'm generally more comfortable in front of an audience than I am in my pajamas at home, because it's where my father put me most of the time, and I was very comfortable with that. So yeah, it's no professional training or anything like that. Just weird for a long time, and that's what
it's the consistency of the weird.
Much.
Yes.
I feel that. My little sister and I would always, when my parents would have their friends over and stuff, we'd always want to put on a little play for everybody, right? So we'd get in front of the fireplace and do some ridiculous shit, and then they'd all be like, "Oh, that's great." Yeah, that's great. But it helped us be comfortable doing that, right? So both her and I ended up, with a little bit of that in us. So
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun to do. Yeah, I've never been really afraid to speak in front of people or do something silly in front of people. I've been in multiple stage plays and stuff in my youth, not so much these days. I'm much more comfortable in a lab these days when I'm doing all my chemistry shit at work and whatnot. So, but I'm still comfortable, as you probably know, from seeing me sit like an idiot, stick up on stage at BajaCon. That was fun, by the way, just to sit up there and answer the questions and stuff. But yeah,
Neil, so you're also the front man for a band.
Well, there's that too. Yes.
That just the on stage part of it.
Yeah, I guess
somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. And then if it's not even just being comfortable in that, it's like if you can learn to take yourself not seriously, you know what I mean? If you can like that, that's the big thing. If you can laugh at yourself and make yourself the butt of the joke and be okay with that, you'll do just fine on stage.
Yeah.
It's the people who are they're okay with getting attention and they take it really, really seriously. Those are the ones you have to look out for.
Yes. I'm all about the self-depreciating humor just to keep myself humble.
Absolutely.
I don't do that. I'm perfect.
we balance each other out, really. It's kind of amusing that way.
I just don't miss. You know what I mean? I just can't turn it off.
So I now I'm going to get into a little bit more of the more modern era of Mr. Valkai. When I first started noticing you pop into the videos and stuff that I like to watch, like all the AXP stuff, which I've yet to do an episode of that. I need to get in there and do an episode of that.
Get in there, man.
I know. But like I've done Talk Heathen, I've done Let's Talk, I've done a bunch of other stuff, even a couple episodes with Mr. Dillahunty, which was a lot of fun. Matt's a great guy. How did you end up getting involved with these talk shows, and what drew you to getting into doing this sort of line of secularism, I guess?
Yeah. I have wanted to be an atheist activist as long as I've wanted to be a scientist and a science communicator. It's just been a part of the dream my whole life, because even before I was fully atheist, like before I had shed my religion, I knew that like the big religions were bullshit, and I didn't like the teachings, especially of Christianity where I lived,
Yeah,
and
the Abrahamic
as soon as I
were pretty harmful.
Yeah, and so as soon as I dropped that, especially after that, I was like, this is what I want to do. And I was working when I discovered the Atheist Experience at a children's science museum. I was a curriculum writer and an outreach educator, and I would pop in, Matt Dillahunty and Tracy Harris and all those cool folks, and listen to hours and hours and hours of AXP while I was just sitting there with a soldering iron, building little motors, or writing, a long thing about polymers, or organizing like chemicals or whatever it was I was doing that day that I needed some mindless thing. I would just turn that on and listen to that. And
I did the same thing, man, in the lab.
Yeah, and I would just get there and I'd be like, I feel like I could do this. I would,
exactly.
And there were certain times where they would say shit, and I'd be like, I feel like I have a better answer for that, and I want to give it. And
tag me in.
Practice, and I would practice. I would like, because I knew I wanted to do this at some point. I didn't know what it was ever going to look like, but I would listen to the question from the caller, and then I would pause it, answer it, and then turn it back on and listen how these folks answered it, and then learn how I could make myself the exact same way that I do about like how to teach science better, or like how to, I would get a good science question, answer it, then look up the answer and correct my answer, and try to get it better.
That's
exactly the same thing. And so it got to a point where I knew that's what I wanted to do. I wanted that to be some part of my career. So a little while later, I started growing as a content creator, and my base platform was TikTok, which it still is. For all I was thanking and defending my friend Stephanie Helms, I didn't know that I'd ever defended her, but she does call screening and whatnot for me, and she's great. I was a little while later, I was growing on TikTok, and there was Genevieve was on TikTok, this lady named Genevieve, and she was doing atheist videos. And I learned about her because I was on a TikTok live, and my phone started blowing up saying I was tagged in a bunch of stuff. And
really?
Somebody was tagging me in her things, like, hey, you got to look at this girl. And so I checked her out and I was like, hey, she's doing great job. She's doing great atheist videos talking about this. So I became mutuals with her on TikTok. TikTok is really good at connecting creators and getting them to like talk behind the scenes. And so she had a show with Dave Warnock at the time called That GD Show, but it was That Goddamn Show. Yep. And she got me in touch with Dave, who then they had me as a guest on their show. And that was my first ever atheist discussion, whatever. And Dave liked me and got me in touch with the atheist community of Austin, who put me on Talk Heathen. Or no, they put me on Truth Wanted, and I did okay. And they put me on Talk Heathen, and I did okay. And then they put me on AXB, and I did okay. And then somehow or another that I think Jimmy Snow saw me on there at some point, and Jimmy sent me an email saying, hey, I'd love to have you on my channel. I was like, who the fuck is this? And I ignored it. And then like the third or fourth time he reached out to me. Yeah, no, the third or fourth time he reached out to me, somebody else was like, hey, my friend Jimmy's getting a hold of you. He's good. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Because I'd never heard of him. I don't know anybody. To this day, when like other creators want to work with me, I usually like will call a few people. I'm like, have you ever heard of this person? Because I don't know anybody. And they're like, oh yeah, this person's great. Or like, don't ever talk to that person, whatever, What's that?
Did you do that with me? Like reach out to other folks?
Yes, I did. I don't blame you. People. Okay, and you were much beloved amongst my friend group, and people were like, yeah, he's a good guy. You got to do a show sometime. And I was like, all right, fucking fine. But
just trying to steal my password, whoever this is.
Yeah.
Just give me a
but eventually, right? Yeah.
These phishing scams are getting very specific. Nice try. Come on to my atheist show. Clearly, the bot knows I do atheist content. Now they're trying to trick me.
But Jimmy put me on his shows for a few times, and then eventually he hired me on as a guy. And then we started Skep Talk together. I was the first host on Skep Talk along with Shannon Q. And now that's a popular show. Tune in to Skep Talk later. I think this Monday.
It's really good.
This Monday I'm doing another one with Erica.
I've seen one with
her.
Yeah.
That's this Monday, so it's going to be a very long one. Oh, I love working with Erica because it is so cool to work with Erica because I am a professional science communicator and I specialize in biology. And I did all these fucking degrees in biology. And I'm very proud of how much I've grown in biology. And then I get to sit there for 8 hours talking with someone who is so very obviously smarter than me. And not like a little smarter than me. Like just orders of magnitude smarter than me. And so
brilliant.
It's crazy. And so it's such a fun experience for me to be able to like, I do my normal job along somebody who does it so much better. And like, now I have somebody to look up to, you know what I mean? It's great. Anyway, that's so that we just grew on the line, and now the line is getting bigger and bigger, and we're doing more and more shows and more events and more specials. And I'm happy to get to grow with that company because it's a company that I believe in and I love it.
Jimmy's such a good guy.
And it's just one facet. The best part for me is that he is not demanding. Like I could do less, but I do one show a week usually. And that gives me time to focus on grad school and also my YouTube channel and also TikTok. And also sometimes I post out on Instagram and I do conventions. Like once a month, I'm traveling to different places doing a convention or a live show or something like that. And I'm doing, like all these other, I'm just piling on more and more shit. And so having that be there is my facet for specifically atheist content in a way that's very flexible and very chill and allows me the fluidity that I need to be able to play around. Oh my God, your friend died.
I think somebody just blew up Chicago. Huh? I don't know what the hell happened.
Are we still live?
Let me double check.
Yeah, we are. We are still live.
All right.
It just threw us all out. What the hell was that?
That was crazy. Sorry, guys.
How dare you? I like to put me back. I was moving up the ranks.
Never. Oh, and I wanted to say this before we got too far away from it. I'm glad Erica makes you feel like you make us feel.
If I make you feel that way, I've got you fooled. Let me tell you.
Well, we are closing up to the end of the hour here.
Right on.
Mikey, do you want to do our traditional final question of the show, and then we'll sort of wrap things up, and I'll talk about a couple things before we go off? Or?
Sounds good. So our final question, we ask everyone this one. If you could go back in time and talk to previous pagan you, what advice would you whisper in their ear?
I would tell me from the past to, I don't know, maybe I want to say the easy way out is to say put as much effort as you were putting into trying to become a wizard into trying to become a biologist. You know what I mean? Like just take the time that you were sitting here studying about crystals and palm reading and everything like that, and actually go pick up A Brief History of Time. It'll change your life. Like that would be a big one for me. But also,
so make biology your Patronus. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah. But like there was a lot going on at that time, and I feel like, you know, younger me knowing like just any part of where I was going to be now would be really cool. I remember when I was a kid, epic rap battles of history was becoming a thing. I wanted to be a YouTuber. I have wanted to be a YouTuber since YouTube was a thing, and I remember watching Nice Peter from Epic Rap Battles. He had his own channel, and I was watching him do like back in the days where they were doing like street music and shit, and that was like the thing people were doing. And I was watching that, and I wanted to be that guy so fucking bad, so much so that with no followers and nobody knew who I was, just this random kid in high school, and I was like, man, I bet I could set up a PO box and post some videos, and people would send me weird shit, and I could make a living. I could do these things. I could make this career. And knowing that is actually what I'm, you know, that's what I do now for a living. That those dreams have all come true. At least just knowing
people send you
that
weird
was
shit.
Going to happen. Oh yeah, people send me weird shit all the time, dude. It's awesome. PO Box 1810, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma 72013. Don't send me gross things, but like send whatever you want, as long as it's not gross or anthrax. But like,
yeah, keep your own anthrax, thank you.
I am an extremely quixotic and passionate person, and I have always known for sure that this is what my life was going to be, because if it wasn't, I was just going to die. There was no other option. This was the plan, and this is what I was going to do. And so knowing that I made it now might, you know, give me some different fire then and help me get through some pretty particularly awful situations at that moment. I don't know. I try to think of like, you know, that's a good question, and I think there's a lot of different answers depending on how sad we want to get. But like, I feel like I would love that. I would love the opportunity to go back and talk to me. That'd be fun. What a weird little nerd I was.
I think what I'm going to do
just
for
come
us,
down.
You'll
Stay
have
the
to send
course. You're going to be great someday, but you are weird. Okay, just
Yes.
know you are weird.
That's
Fade
a
away.
thing. Yes, lean into the weird. Don't try to cure the weird.
Right.
Don't
Yeah,
try
yeah.
to stifle the weird.
It's not broken.
That would be a good lesson for younger me. Yes, it's not broken. It's a feature, not a bug. Like let that freak flag fly.
It's supposed to hurt like that. Yeah, that's normal.
Yes. Yeah, no, that actually that's a really good one, because like there was a time in my life where I was trying really hard to be what I thought someone like me was supposed to be, rather than just being me. And I was never trying to be cool. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I know the writing was on the wall. Did I want to be? Did I want to be? Absolutely. Did I think it was possible? Probably not. Have you seen me? Jesus. But like, yeah, that would be a fun one. This is like, you know, encouraging young me to lean into the strange. That would definitely be good. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree 100%. Lean into the weirdness of you. That's because honestly, let's be honest, that's what people pick up on. They pick up on the little oddities that make us who we are, and they either are attracted to that, or they're like, all right, that's a little too much for me. Right? And I've dealt with that my entire life, and I'm sure you have as well. And
Absolutely.
Forrest, it's been a tradition around here. Well, recent tradition, thanks to my good friend Tons of Mice. I'm going to.
I feel like that's not a screen name, and that's just Tons of Mice. That's what I'm going to choose to believe that's the case.
They have a Bluetooth keyboard.
Yeah, well,
okay.
Tons made up a bunch of Lego minifigures of most of the folks that hang out in my after parties and whatnot, and including his, which happens to be tons of little Lego mice. Right?
Love that.
I thought it was great. But
he made like our windows on the StreamYard. He like made each one of like what our thing looks like. It's pretty funny. He
I'll show them in the
all of
after
us.
party. But I'm going to make one of you now, and I want to send it
Christ.
to you. They come in these little boxes like this. Like I made one of my friend Sadie, who's got all the little sciencey equipment.
Yeah.
And I want to send you that just as a little thank you for coming on the show.
I would love that.
And I've got lots of little boxes and little Lego cases you can put in on display and whatnot. So we'll talk about that, and I'll get the that PO box number again from you.
Sure.
And I'll figure out what I want to put for the background for you and stuff like that. Like maybe I can find some little skulls or whatnot and stick them in the background.
I do.
Neil,
do I.
Neil, land the plane. Yeah. My DMs are blowing up. Everyone's asking for what.
Oh, everyone wants to come and meet Forrest. Now, okay, folks, understand that we do take a little bit of a break in between the two shows, like probably about 20 minutes or so, to do a bio break, grab a fresh drink, snack, whatever it is you want. Now, if you are interested in jumping in, because I'm sure Forrest can stick around for a little bit for the after party, but we don't want to keep him here forever. But he has said, yeah, no problem. So if you do want to be involved, get a message out to myself or Mikey here via whichever social media you have us on, or email, and we can get links to you. And it's probably going to get crowded, so I can only have so many people in here at once. So just keep that in mind.
Right on.
Excuse me. And once again, thank you so much, Forrest, for joining Mikey and myself for tonight's episode. It's been an absolute blast having you on, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys having me. It's been a great fun being here. I talked a lot about random shit that I don't usually talk about. It was all about me, which was uncomfortable because I usually just talk about science. But it was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Well, we tried to throw a little science in there so you wouldn't feel too awkward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The science is your vessel.
Histone methyltransferases apply methyl groups to CpG islands on your chromatin, which helps remodel euchromatin into heterochromatin, which renders genes transcriptionally inactive. And that's a great thing for everybody to know. There you go. Learn that.
It's all about the junk DNA.
Activated the code in my sleeper cell.
Do you ever wonder why your bones and your eyeballs both have the same DNA, but your eyes aren't made of bones and your bones aren't made of eyes? It's because of epigenetics, y'all. Hooray. I don't know, man.
There's reasons.
I'm getting old. My knees feel like eyeballs sometimes. My ankles, they feel like they made out of eyeballs instead of bones. They be a little hurty. You know, my back, my lumbago is the best made up sickness.
My lumbago. Neck, my back, my pussy, and my crack. Thank you for watching. Have an awesome rest of your day and never stop learning. Free Palestine. Bye.
Yay.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to all our members and the ones that got free memberships tonight. Thank you guys for helping support the show. There are multiple ways to do so. It's all, it's all in the description box below. Also, definitely check out Valkai Labs, which I have linked in below, which does, by the way, have all the links where you can find Forrest on the interwebs if you do care to follow his stuff. And until then, like I always say at the end of the interview part of the show, like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.